All right, let's just get right into it. If you're looking to fundamentally change your life, you might think, you just need a little more willpower or maybe a fancy new morning routine. But what if I told you changing your life is actually about systematically reprogramming the very code that runs your body? Welcome to this explainer on the ultimate biohack. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating science of neuroplasticity and human optimization. We're going to look at exactly how you can literally rewire your conscious mind and your biological gut to hit absolute peak performance.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to kick things off with the human optimization protocol, then jump right into hacking the mind through journaling and how to choose your software. After that, we'll cross the biological bridge into hacking the gut and its microbiome, followed by the gut-brain connection. Finally, we'll wrap it all up with the precision health revolution.
Section 1. The Human Optimization Protocol. Hardware and Software.
Think of your body and mind as a highly advanced biological computer. To reach peak optimization, you can't just focus on one half of the system, right? You need to upgrade both the hardware, that's your physical biology, and the software, your psychological programming. This is what we call biohacking, the self-directed application of biotechnology, digital tools, and lifestyle interventions to optimize human performance. It's moving from passive maintenance to active, programmable optimization. Our ultimate goal here is neuroplasticity, the physical and functional rewiring of your brain, which we now know is driven by this incredible interplay between your gut ecology and your daily cognitive habits. Because true optimization, it's driven by structured, science-backed routines.
Section 2. Hacking the mind, journaling, or programming your psychological software.
Okay, we really need to shift the narrative here. Forget the idea that journaling is just keeping a diary. It's actually a highly targeted psychological tool used to rewrite your mental code. And you've got a massive toolbox at your disposal. I mean, the literature identifies over 15 proven journaling methods. You've got morning pages for clearing out creative blocks, basically just doing a brain dump on the page. You've got CBT journaling for correcting negative thought patterns. There's shadow work for exploring repressed emotional triggers, dream journaling for subconscious insights, and bullet journaling for rapid-fire productivity. These aren't just random writing exercises, they are entirely different software programs for entirely different psychological outcomes.
To understand just how powerful this mental software can be, take a look at this number, 25%. Research by psychologists Emmons and McCullough actually found that the specific practice of gratitude journaling, literally just writing down 3 to 5 specific things you're grateful for every day, improved overall well-being by a massive 25%. And get this, it even increased how often people exercised and reduced their physical complaints. I mean, that is a huge return on investment for what? A 5-minute daily habit?
Section 3. Choosing your software, the right tool for the job.
The reason most people quit journaling actually isn't a lack of discipline. It's simply because they're using the wrong method for their specific psychological needs. It's like trying to use a spreadsheet to edit a photo. It just doesn't work. So if your goal is to clear mental noise and overthinking, your exact method should be morning pages. If you're trying to process anxiety or depression, you really need the structured logic of CBT thought records. Or if you want to dig into deep emotional triggers and self-sabotage, that's when you deploy shadow work. By mapping your specific goal directly to the exact method, this psychological software becomes incredibly actionable.
Let's actually look at how this works in practice with CBT journaling. Cognitive behavioral therapy journaling is essentially a structured way to manually correct your own cognitive distortions. So, when you feel a strong negative emotion, you just follow these steps. First, identify the situation. Second, write down that automatic thought that just popped into your head. Third, rate the intensity of the emotion from 0 to 100. Fourth, and this is key, objectively find evidence for and against that thought. Finally, create a new, balanced thought. You are quite literally debugging your mind's software in real time. But here's a really pivotal question we have to ask. What if the psychological software is perfect, but the biological hardware running your mind is holding you back? Think about it. You can have the absolute best programming in the world, but if the computer itself is glitching out, you are not going to get optimal results. Which brings us to Section 4. Hacking the gut, microbiome, upgrading your biological hardware.
Your gut microbiome is this wildly dynamic ecosystem that basically acts as the physical operating system for your entire body. It literally dictates your resilience, your systemic inflammation, and even your neural capacity. On one side of this loop, we have our lifestyle inputs, stuff like diet, probiotics, exercise. These inputs directly alter the actual bacteria and chemical byproducts hanging out in your gut. Those microbes then go on to influence your immune, metabolic, and neural pathways, leading to tangible health outcomes, like improved insulin sensitivity. And closing the loop, digital health tools, wearables that track your unique biological data so you can tweak and refine those daily inputs. It's a continuous, fully programmable feedback loop. When we look at the science, there are three main modulation strategies biohackers use to manipulate this gut ecosystem. First up is diet, which is absolutely the most potent modulator. We're using specific fibers to actually alter the microbial biomass. Second is microbial therapeutics. This includes targeted probiotics, prebiotics, and even FMT, fecal microbiota transplantation, to basically restore colonization resistance. And the third, which is definitely the most futuristic frontier, is synthetic biology. This is where biohackers and scientists are exploring engineered bacterial strains specifically designed to deliver therapeutic molecules right into your gut.
Section 5. The gut-brain connection, where hardware meets software.
All right, this is exactly where the biological hardware meets your psychological software. The microbiome gut-brain axis is this incredible bidirectional communication network that integrates the microbes in your intestines directly with your central nervous system. Now, how do they talk to each other? Through chemical messengers, things like short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs like butyrate, which reduce systemic inflammation and support immune tolerance. You've got bile acid derivatives regulating metabolic processes, and get this, tryptophan catabolites and precursors for GABA and serotonin literally tell your brain to boost your mood, improve your memory, and increase stress resilience. Your gut bacteria are actually manufacturing the exact chemicals your brain uses to think and feel. How wild is that?
To tie this all together, research notes that, quote, the vagus nerve serves as the principal conduit for gut-to-brain signaling and plays a central role in emotional regulation. Think of the vagus nerve as the main cable. It detects those chemical messengers we just talked about and shoots them straight up to the limbic and cortical centers of your brain. So upgrading your gut hardware physically supports and sustains all that psychological rewiring you're doing with your journaling habits. They are literally two sides of the exact same coin.
Section 6. The Precision Health Revolution, Risks and Rewards.
Now, as this science moves out of clinical labs and into the hands of consumers, the evidence-based rewards of microbiome biohacking are just incredible. We're talking improved insulin sensitivity, reduced systemic inflammation, better responses to therapies, and even extended longevity and health span. But we have to be real here. The research clearly outlines some severe risks when this stuff is taken out of a regulated environment. Unsupervised DIY biological experiments, especially things like unregulated FMT, pose serious risks of pathogen transmission. There are even totally new emerging risks around cyber biosecurity and data equity as we digitize more of our biological data.
But despite those risks, the future is arriving incredibly fast. Emerging digital infrastructures like AI health twins, metabolic avatars, and wearable biosensors are completely transforming the biohacking space. We're moving way beyond anecdotal guess-and-check self-experimentation and into real-time, data-driven tracking. This means that very soon, we can track the biochemical success of both our morning journaling sessions and our probiotic diets as it's actually happening, perfectly closing the loop on our own biology.
Which leaves us with this final thought. As we've seen today through targeted psychological journaling and precise microbiome modulation, you are not just a static entity. You are a highly adaptive, fully programmable system. So I'll leave you with this question. If your biology and your psychology are programmable, what will you write into your code today? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Until next time, stay curious and keep optimizing.